It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's superhero slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's superhero slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name's Mike.
And this week, we finally take a trip back to Hawkins, Indiana. 1987.
We both grew up in Indiana, and I ain't never been there. I ain't never seen it.
No, it's got apparently a big hole, big crack down the middle of it, apart from the last season, so haven't been there. The Marvel intro could be a big Avengers plot point. We'll talk about that rumor later. James Cameron promises us an Alita sequel. If you remember watching Alita Battle Angel several years ago.
I remember that.
The only picture we can get of, oh my gosh, the guy's going to play Blade in his like little black glasses. Mahershala Ali. That's where they keep taking all the Blade, quote unquote, Blade photos from. It's him in that movie. So they at least get their money's worth out of that and more this week.
Yeah, Chris, I have a new question I like to ask people after Thanksgiving, because I feel like people's Thanksgiving menus kind of become tried and true. You know, you have like the greatest hits, the day players, you know, the solid contributions to the table. But like, did you try anything new at Thanksgiving dinner this year that like popped into your head that you want to like stick around?
No, we have not. I'm pretty basic. So we actually use
no risks taken.
No, not at all. So Thanksgiving Day, it's my wife and myself, and that's it. And we usually do, like as we mentioned this before, an air fried turkey, like the 3-pound breast in an air fryer on a rotisserie. And she made mac and cheese this year that she was going to take to her family's on Saturday, but she made the first test at home, so we actually had more than we usually have, because she was testing a mac and cheese recipe for that. And then we just eat on that for like 3 or 4 days. So no, I kept it to the basics. And I guess maybe the big thing, the King's Hawaiian rolls. They have
always good. Always a solid dish. You
can buy the small packs of buttery and the small packs of sweet rolls. So we bought 2 packs of the smaller ones so we could have a mix and match. Would be about as wild as I got this year. Mike, how about yourself?
I made a focaccia bread this year to kind of add a little bit of variation to the bread component at dinner. And it was great and universal because obviously there was leftovers. So I kind of turned slices of it the last 2 nights into pizza. Because focaccia bread, if you're unaware, folks out there, it's like very kind of close to what like a classic Pizza Hut pizza crust is like.
Pizza Hut breadsticks, that focaccia bread, it's my weakness by far. But it's mostly their sugary sweet sauce, but continue.
Exactly. So throw a little sauce and some cheese on there, pop it in the air fryer. You need a palate cleanser after Thanksgiving because I can't just do straight Thanksgiving leftovers for every meal until it's gone. I got to put in some contrast, like tomato. Like there's no tomato ever at Thanksgiving. I was kind of looking out there at the spread on the table. I was like, yeah, we never invited tomatoes to Thanksgiving, did we? But I was...
Is it because they're not seasonal? Is it because like you don't find a lot of tomatoes in the fall?
Honestly, you're probably right. That's the right answer. Okay. But in the day and age that we live in now, we can get tomatoes whenever we want. True. But I had a shocking revelation this week thanks to the Thanksgiving Day parade. Because every year at Thanksgiving, when they do these parades, you know, you have like the obvious people that come to the parade, the celebrities that do performances. And I swear every Thanksgiving, there's some sort of like new like star. It's like every record label has a spot in the Thanksgiving Day parade where they throw some sort of new person that I've never heard of before, but we're supposed to like want to like. It's like their trial run for a new celebrity. And I saw everybody sharing online on Thanksgiving Day, this person called Mr. Fantastic. Was it? Actually, now I got to check. Mr. Fantastic. I think that was his name.
It's the first time hearing of this.
Oh, God, no.
I saw the little John stuff at the parade. You know,
Oh, I saw that too.
I was like, yeah,
Okay,
they're
Mr.
catering to both sides, maybe.
Mr. Fantasy. Sorry, that's what it was. Mr. Fantasy.
Oh.
And I started seeing other stuff pop up in my feed thanks to all the algorithms. It's this dude with kind of like longer hair. He's extremely British. He's always wearing sunglasses. And then I started to see whisperings of like, oh, this is an alter ego. This isn't really a person. This is a celebrity. And I was like, who is this? What is going on here? And that's when I found out it's Riverdale's own Archie. It's KJ Appa, who we've talked about on the show before, because every once in a while he gets rumored to be like cast in some sort of superhero project. I swear, like every other month. But he is masquerading around. I don't think KJ Appa is British. I could be wrong. But if he is British or not, he's definitely doing a heavy British style accent for this Mr. Fantasy. But I just wanted to put it on everyone's radar so they're not terrified like I was.
I don't know. I mean, he's a TikToker known for his hilariously unhinged videos, over the top cheeky Britishness, and most importantly, his striking resemblance to actor KJ Apa. Is it really true? Is it him?
I think it's confirmed, which is absolutely crazy. One thing it's an interesting thing to do with your free will, right? I can't imagine if this just a role of the lifetime for KJ Appa to just create his own character, or has something in him cracked and he's turned into this British alter ego. But just prepare, Mr. Fantasy. He's out there.
This is wild.
He's got some teeth.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll have to keep an eye and see how this plays out over time, because I've never heard this before.
Come down your chimney.
Yeah, never seen that.
Well, you heard
before.
it now. You've heard it here. That's why people listen to superheroes.
Well, I'm surprised you aren't talking about how they had the K-pop Demon Hunters there, and they were able to seal the Han Moon by singing during. I didn't
want to impose my Demon Hunters fandom on everybody.
Yeah, that's too late. You've already done that. I would take that over whatever this Mr. Fantasy thing is, if I'm going to be completely honest, because you at least can talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, which is getting a sequel in dozens of years. I don't have it in here, but it is related to our first topic. So I'll just bring up. Did you see the trailer for Goat yet?
No, I haven't.
The Steph Curry where he's like a goat and he can't play basketball.
I've heard about it's like the animated, and they say it's going to be like the Spider-Verse.
Well, it's from the creators of, or the animators and studios behind K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider-Verse stuff. So like it's got like the same studio talent behind it. But I was curious. Cause I did watch it and I was like, I'm not putting this in here. This is very irrelevant to what we're going to be talking about, which was maybe even on this first topic, even bring up, because the first topic is Zootopia 2, which I'm sure you ran out to theaters to watch this week, Mike, because, I know you're a big fan of the first one.
I was busy watching Stranger Things. Stay tuned. End of the episode. We'll be talking about it.
That's right. So Zootopia 2, the only reason I put it in here, it is the first Hollywood movie to make over $100 million in a single day in China. It is the previous record holder was Avengers Endgame in 2019, right? 2019 with $97.5 million. So, on these movies, again, that I have no affinity for, I'm really thoroughly surprised Zootopia 2 is the one that cracked the record this year for films.
It's kind of crazy. It's one of those headlines that you could honestly explain it happening either direction, right? Because if you look at Zootopia 2, you just point to Inside Out 2. Mm-hmm. It's a sequel of beloved, Disney/Pixar. I know these are technically different, but animated movie from Walt Disney Studios, and it crushed it, which is pretty surprising. I really liked the first Zootopia movie, so I just have not had any sort of strategic maneuvers to get to the theater to watch it. But I'm looking forward to watching it. I liked Jason Bateman's portrayal of Nick Wilde, always fun. I love the world. It felt always very rich. It could be like a fun video game to me. I like it when they do like the sweeping shots of the different biomes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought in the trailer it was clever that like, oh, snakes, this one type of creature doesn't belong, and then it makes you go, oh, was there actually no snakes in the first movie?
Yeah.
But also I could easily see the headline of like, oh, Zootopia 2 underperforms. Oh, is this is this franchise failing? Too many sequels at the box office, blah 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 blah.
It also had
But
that
it
series,
crushed it.
right? The animated series on Disney Plus as well. That
Yeah, I had like that little
yeah.
like little mini
So
sods or whatever you want to call them.
I'm actually surprised. It's 91% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and 95 from that.
That's the biggest surprise to me, actually. For some reason, I just felt like it's just sequels just always have a tough time like living up to the original. Frozen 2 is stuck in the back of my head of just like, oh, they just can't make a good second outing over there at Walt Disney Animation Studios. But man, they did it. They crushed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know when it's going to happen. That's always kind of the issue with like animated movies for me, whether it's like Pixar or Walt Disney or eventually when like the next Shrek movie comes out, like it's hard for me to get the motivation to go see it in theaters because I think the only thing that motivates me nowadays is not getting spoiled. Like I got to see something the week it comes out or the weekend it comes out because I don't want to get spoiled of people talking about the internet. But there's not a lot of spoilery moments I think sometimes with these films.
Not in Zootopia too. Probably, but I mean, at the same time, this is one of the things. Like, this just makes me say that Neja 2, the other animated movie, which is like the #1 movie ever, right out of China. Like they are leaning into high quality animation films over there. Not across the pond. It's the other pond, the other direction, I guess. But so that's just interesting to me. Like all these people like animation movies. They there's no market for them. They don't do well, but obviously they're the two biggest things the Eastern market right now. So this is interesting to me. Moving on, Alita Battle Angel. We'll talk about this a little bit. James Cameron has said he's made an unbreakable promise to get a sequel made. And I quote, Robert Rodriguez and I have a sworn blood oath to do at least one more Alita movie. In fact, we're thinking of an architecture that bridges to a third film, but we'll be satisfied if we can make one more, and we're making progress on that. So it sounds like possibly, we're into 2025, maybe by 2030 we'll have the sequel out for this. I really liked Alita Battle Angel. I think about it sometimes. It's like a full CG character. They had that science fiction. It feels kind of Gundam-y, but not Gundam-y, at the end of the day.
Put that on the movie poster, quote Chris Dillard. I think about it sometimes. It's just one of those movies, like all I remember from like pre-production of this movie, I know it's based on an anime or maybe a manga of some kind. I think, manga, then anime.
Yeah. And it's very cyberpunky, which, the game hadn't come out for that yet. But like they redid the animation twice, because like they did it was like her eyes were too big the first time or something. Do you remember that when they redid the CG for the main character?
This sounds familiar. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm trying to find actually where that was, like where they actually kind of did that stuff. But yeah, I'd love to see this. I think that's a fun little world to go back in. It's notorious. One of the podcasts I listen to, they have every year in their podcast, their movie awards or show awards is the Game Is On award, where they're the end of the movie setting up a sequel that may probably never ever happen. And like this one, it was Edward Norton in the ship above the city that they're trying to get to, and he's just like watching everybody and like, we'll never get that. We'll never get to see Edward Norton as the villain of this movie. But I think, James Cameron, he's got that Avatar money. Get ready for Fire and Ash coming out. You sent me an interview he did, right? That's where I think that's where I pulled this from.
I'll use this as an opportunity. The podcast, The Town, did a 2-part interview with James Cameron that was fascinating. Because Cameron's in his 70s now. He's basically kind of like the king of Hollywood. He can pretty much do and say whatever he wants with pretty much no like repercussions in a way. So the interview,
except not rapey. He's not a bad guy. He's just just giving his thoughts. He doesn't have to hold back on his thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a money making machine. So they just leave him alone and let him do what he wants. But he was very honest and earnest on the episode, which I really appreciated. And he talked about like the future of filmmaking, what he is and isn't worried about. I thought his take on motion capture acting was really fascinating. I never thought about it before, and it'll probably be in the back of my head every time we talk about something similar on this show, where there's like this whole idea that's always been repeated that it's hard for actors to act to nothing, right? You put them like on a green screen in the middle of a room or whatever, and they just have to like make believe like what's in front of them. But Cameron had a really interesting rebuttal where he thinks like mocap kind of acting is the purest form of acting, because he painted a very interesting picture where, if you are lucky to have like a beautifully built set, like think of like the sets in Wicked, right? You show up to work as an actor. Yeah, you're there on the set, but there's also like hundreds of lights flooding you everywhere. There's like people on like ladders and scaffolding. There's like microphones like hanging down and stuff. It's really not quite as immersive as people like to pretend it is. But Cameron says like mocap acting is like the purest form of acting, because all you have to worry about is performance. It's just you in a room like with Cameron, and you guys are just like working out the character. And I thought that was really interesting from a point of view of just like, oh, he really is getting pretty pure performances out of these people. And I think it shows. Like when I said, like when I walked out of Way of Water, I felt like I could see a Na'vi like in the lobby getting popcorn. They felt so real to me. And then of course he did the perfect job of selling Fire and Ash to me, because I was sure I was just going to go see this in a normal theater, just keep it chill, probably not even do a 3D showing, just my normal theater going experience, just like take in Fire and Ash and then just get in and get out. Then he hyped it up so much for me in this 2-part interview. I was like, I'm looking at like the big old IMAX screen where the rows are jammed up against each other. The ticket's going to be like $100 or something crazy like that. I'm like, oh, Michael, what are you doing, you fool? I haven't bought the ticket just yet, because I'm trying to find the window during this holiday season to see it. But I think he's gonna get my IMAX money, Chris.
I know a day you're close by to me, and I think there's a 30 millimeter or is a 65 millimeter IMAX projector with possible screenings in that same vicinity. We just got to find 4 hours to kill to watch it. But
yes, that would be the difficult part.
But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, absolutely. So, absolutely recommend that as well. And like I said, James Cameron, he's always thinking about his, I guess that franchise with Robert Rodriguez. I again, like I said, back to the Alita Battle Angel, I think the advent and increase of the Cyberpunk 2077 game would probably get a lot more people on board for a follow up for this as well. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that. In video game world as well, Assassin's Creed details are coming out about the show that they're producing, and it looks to be set in ancient Rome era, which has not been done in the video games yet. And I put "yet" in parentheses because I wouldn't be surprised if like that's next year's Assassin's Creed, because they tend to do these like every year, it feels like, or maybe but next year like
it's interesting. It's like Zootopia with no snakes in it. Like I would have assumed they did that. Really, they haven't done Rome yet.
Yeah, no Rome. One this year was Samurai feudal Japan, I believe. The one before that, I know, I the one that's Valhalla, which is Vikings in England. The one after that was, I think, Origins. There's one that's Great Pyramids, Egypt era. So no, I don't know a single Rome game. I couldn't pick it out of that. So. Which makes me think maybe they're gonna tie this into like the next game, like maybe not one for one, but like, oh, we're both doing Rome, and they mention characters that are in both versions back and forth a little bit. So excited for that. So I think big opportunity for that show to go somewhere new. Also in video games, I don't know if you saw this, Mike, Far Cry, the video game series that was made by Crytek, then bought, I think, by like Ubisoft as well, and done every 3 or 4 years. Far Cry 2, 3, 4, I think 6 is the last one. Noah Hawley of Aliens, Fargo, and Legion fame, and Rob Mack, used to be Rob McElhenney. I'm gonna butcher it.
McElhaney? I think that's the whole reason he changed his name.
Exactly. From Always Sunny, and was it Wrexham? Is that I don't know, Wrexham, whatever that show's called, are developing an anthology series based on this video game franchise for FX. And both of these guys, I think they said they have like 6 shows and like 18 seasons, or not 18, 6 shows and like hundreds of episodes on FX for them. So they have a pretty good relationship with them. Rob will star in the show, and it will each season will be kind of like Fargo, where we'll get different casts and settings to go on. So it won't be consecutive seasons, I guess. Like, it carries over.
I think that makes sense to me. When I saw the headline at first, I was like, kind of like a weird thing to adapt, because it's just kind of like almost like an action adventure story, kind of in a far off land, you know. But I think anthologizing it makes it a little bit more exciting, because you get to play more in the formula that the Far Cry series has created, which is like you change locales every game, and also there's some kind of crazy batshit villain in each game. Yeah. So you can either keep the same cast around and like bring in like a new person to play the villain. It depends how you want to anthologize it. You know, American Horror Story repeats cast. I think Fargo gets a new cast in every time. But this could be fun. I mean, for me, the joy of Far Cry was more of like camp elimination and just getting a bow and arrow and like stealthily like killing a bunch of fools. So I'm kind of just playing the game very narrowly. So story-wise, I'm trying to think if there's like an overall narrative. Because isn't it usually like an outsider, like somebody on vacation has to become like an action star or something?
I think that's like the first one. So like later on, you know, Far Cry, that's very Far Cry 1, where you're in the jungle, you're crafting weapons and tools and like surviving as mercenaries. Later on, Far Cry 6 is on Giancarlo Esposito, and it's kind of like in a fake version of like Cuba and like an uprising. So it's a little more modern shooter. Far Cry 5, I believe, was the one where there's like a doomsday cult, and that's like set in America. A little bit.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's kind of like, I guess if maybe it's kind of more of a unexpected hero, or maybe a reluctant hero, because I think the last one I remember playing, I don't recall the number. It was like a
3. You're thinking of 3
the mountains or something like that.
Far Cry 3. You're like a tourist, right? Like. And you're on vacation, and then there was the Himalayas.
One where you're a tourist, and Himalayas. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4. 4 was the Himalayas. 3 was the I'm looking at the covers. The tourism one. The one I played the most, I'm gonna be honest, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Did you ever?
Oh yeah.
So that one is essentially a homage to 1980s action movies, and you're like fighting like different, like it's not really set in the like our universe, like you're fighting like aliens and other creatures and like, you know, doing all sorts of really crazy things in this. And it also had a animated season on Netflix that was set in this universe as well.
Maybe Blood Dragon can be a stretch goal for them. Like if the show's successful enough, they can do like a vanity season that's just Blood Dragon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but like you said, looking at these, I'm like 1, 2 didn't come over from 1, 3 didn't come over. Like they're all individual. So I see the anthology in the games that they could absolutely pull from. So I'm excited. This is fun. I mean, like I said, we left, you know, we know that Alien Earth is getting another season from Holly. You know, Rob's always doing stuff with Always Sunny, Wrexham. I think Wrexham's over though, right? Are they still doing that? Even though
I don't know. I know his show Mythic Quest is over.
Yeah, that was an Apple one. Yeah,
he's got a hole to fill there.
Yeah, so he's got some time. So yeah, absolutely. So this is exciting. Hopefully we get some more news on it and maybe see it 2027 on Hulu/FX. Lanterns, the TV show, upcoming show from the DC universe. Footage has been shown at I think it was the Brazilian upfronts. It was some sort of upfronts, maybe in South America, and they've confirmed one of the writers, or I guess reporters there, has said that the Green Lantern suits will in fact be some mix of base and CGI, but lean into the Green Lantern Earth 1 series, which I've included an image from one of the panels here, which kind of gives it like a space suit, but like all the concept art when they announced Lanterns, like of Hal Jordan and John Stewart, were actually in their Earth 1 suits. So it sounds like they had this idea kind of when they were leaning into it. It's not the Ryan Reynolds one. You can tell here Hal Jordan, he's a little older, got his beard. He's not wearing a mask, but like also he's out in space, so I'm not sure he really needs a mask when policing the galaxy as a Green Lantern. I'm like I said, I've always say I'm always excited for the show. I would love to see a trailer. I don't know when we would get one, if I'm going to be completely honest. I may wait till next year, calendar year, to give us one. But
it kind of feels like if it's HBO likes to do these things where they do like coming up this year type of deal, and I feel like that's usually where you get your first shot of something. Yeah. Like we're gonna get a trailer for the whole 2026 of HBO, and we're gonna get like 2 seconds of lanterns in there. That's probably what we'll get our first.
It'll be clip. 5 seconds of lanterns, but 2 of it actually includes the green glow. The rest of them in those the regular outfits,
exactly,
walking around town. So yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this. Like I said, DCU has a very not necessarily James Gunn free year, but like 3 projects James Gunn didn't really like write or direct coming up next year. So I'm excited to see how that kind of plays off whenever he's not the one. Obviously he's touching everything and making sure it's all good, but like when he's not the one at the helm, if that makes sense. So see how they do that. So we'll see that whenever this shows up. But also back to staying in the DCU, James Gunn. Rumor is that Steve Trevor could show up in the DCU with ties to Argus in the upcoming Man of Tomorrow movie. And this comes from a quote that there's a major new male character they're casting for Man of Tomorrow. A lot of people, last week we talked about Wonder Woman. This week we're talking about Steve Trevor. And I think this has to do, like this Steve Trevor wouldn't be a World War II pilot. This would be like a modern day Steve Trevor who works with Rick Flag and the Argus stuff, rather than he happens to accidentally crash onto Themyscira and gets real weird in that second one. He's like in somebody else's body for it. Yeah,
I feel like this will kind of help them solve a narrative issue of like how do you bring the love interest into the future? You know, these ageless love stories. I mean, in the MCU, they kind of tell it very tragically of just like, yeah, they keep aging and you stay the same age and you just watch them like deteriorate in front of you. Yeah, maybe Steve Trevor is just a modern day character and you know, we just participate in their love story in modern times.
Yeah, and maybe it's just maybe a setup and he's not the love interest yet, but like, you know, the fact that we don't have to always do a time travel or a period piece for Wonder Woman, right? We know she's old. We know she's been around forever. We don't always have to go back to World War I or II to find out, you know, that's where she met the love of her life that's going to last thousands of years, and he's just going to stay there. So would be interesting. They can do that. So we'll find out more probably as production spins up and casting really, really gets underway. And on the flip side, next week, Mike, CCXP. I know we always forget when that is. Essentially Brazil's Comic-Con. And Supergirl will have an interactive exhibit there. And the theory is that the trailer will also drop at CCXP for that event, and then also obviously show before all the holiday movies come out. Parentheses, Avatar, Fire and Ash, because that's going to put butts in seats, and you want to be a trailer in front of that movie. If I was a bad man,
I'll return from visiting family over the holidays, and we'll see if any of this Superman James Gunn universe stuff passes the mom test. I'll see if any of it's on her radar whatsoever.
Well, it'd be. I would say it'd be hard to. I mean, I say if the trailer next week, if the trailer comes out, I say do the mom test. If not, I would say probably not on our radar because this is all just news reports from us along the way. So yeah, that's a good thing. I kind of like this is not the only interactive exhibit we're going to talk about, but like I would love to know, like we've been to San Diego Comic-Con. They had some interactive booths there, but like I would love to know what they're taking down to Brazil because like this sounds awesome. Like getting to like handle like all these interactive things along the way. And like really just have like, oh, it's not a Hall H where we're all just gonna sit up here and tell you things and show you things. It's like, no, you actually get to go live through like probably like proper sets or like, you know, full on experiences from the movie with this. And we know most like there's a bar scene. Maybe it's a bar kind of deal. So Supergirl, obviously, move along. We'll see some of that hopefully next week. I kind of mix these up, but CCXP is next week in Brazil. We will probably be coming back next week with a lot of just reports out of that, and keep you guys posted. Which brings me to our next bit, which is Spider Noir, the Nicolas Cage-led Spider-Man spinoff, I guess, of Into the Spider-Verse, but not really. For Amazon, there's no panel announced for CCXP, but they have an interactive display. And here's the description. Prepare to cross the boundaries of time and dive into the world of Spider Noir. Here you'll be transported to 1930s New York, a place where justice wears a trench coat and truth hide in the shadows. This one does say, in the full description, they'll take your photo and you'll be part of like the noir scene, like when you come in, and a special 3 Amazon Prime members and 3 of their friends get selected to go to like a special speakeasy that they're gonna have there for this as well. So, really cool. I forgot Spider Noir was even in the works, Mike, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I know, this is like one of those weird projects where the more we learn, the more we're excited about it. It was the inverse. If you go the opposite direction, I'm kind of curious. Just like where it goes. I want to know how much of Nicolas Cage's character matches up to the Spider-Verse noir, because I feel like they could almost have their cake and eat it too, right? Where it's like they don't have to like specifically reference any events in the Spider-Verse, but Nicolas Cage could do a very similar performance, and maybe they have like a little bit of humor injected into the show, and then for all intents and purposes, the same character that was in Spider-Verse.
It's a Rubik's Cube on his desk in the back that we see is the only reference we have to that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I said it looked like we've seen a couple, like, I guess not really a trailer, but like, I guess a teaser, and it looked good. It's got the black and white, the noir look. We've seen them filming. I have, like you said, it's kind of like, this is giving me Andor vibes, if you will. Like, no one asked for this. No one really wanted it. But, like, the fact they're going through this and it looks good and has the potential to be good, I'm down for. So, maybe we'll know more next weekend. I'm going to guess this might be the first, like, post-Fallout show. Like, when Fallout gets done next year, they might be like, okay, we're going to be teasing. Like, as you're watching Fallout, we're going to be giving you Spider Noir trailers in front of it for the ad folks.
Yeah, well, depending on how it lines up, it could go Fallout, Spider Noir, and then transition to The Boys.
And they also have Lord of the Rings, the next season for that as well in there. And was it Invincible? I think was February as well. So, Amazon's got a lot of good stuff coming up. That's surprising. I always forget they're a player, but. Oh, well. Anyway, Spider Noir will hopefully have some more maybe images, information coming out of this event next weekend. Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is not really directed to Spider-Man Brand New Day, but the rumor is that Kevin Feige is already looking to the next Avengers movie. Not Doomsday, not Secret Wars, but beyond that, Avengers 7. And that if Spider-Man Brand New Day delivers, Kevin Feige plans for Destin Daniel Cretton to direct the next Avengers movie after Secret Wars. And for those who may or may not remember, Mike, I don't know if you remember, he was actually lined up to direct Kang Dynasty first, back when it was still Kang Dynasty and everybody was involved. So not necessarily that he's owed an Avengers movie, but yeah.
I feel like because he correct me, he was the director of Shang-Chi, right?
Yes, he started off with Shang-Chi. He's the producer / director of maybe a few things for the upcoming Wonder Man. And then he was on Kang Dynasty forever until that whole thing blew up. And then he was selected for the Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is filming.
Yeah. It's like one of the bigger letdowns of these last 2 phases of the MCU is like, I felt like they really landed on something with Shang-Chi, whether it was the cast or the creative team, and that they just never got their second outing. I mean, I think we never expected it to be like, canned. It's been postponed and postponed is postponed. And it's not like a Blade thing, right? Blade thing is just it hasn't come together yet. They haven't figured out how they want to execute it. But I think everyone kind of knew like, oh yeah, we can easily see Shang-Chi, get back out there. We saw it in the Marvel Zombies season standalone, whatever show that came out in
The Marvel Zombies, yeah.
August, I think,
Yeah.
just before October.
Yeah, it's September. It was September, yeah.
And it was great to see him again. So, yeah, I would say he is owed his second chance, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
But if it's not for freaking another Avengers, it's going to take forever before we get to that.
Well, I think
post Secret Wars.
I don't think they're gonna wait. I don't think it's gonna be another 10-year wait between movies. I think they're gonna try to set it back up like they originally did. Because it's been we've talked about this till we're blue in the face, Mike. Like without something to look forward to, without little sections like bite-sized chunks of Marvel stuff, and you're like trying to build something up, like nobody knows where the phase is in to begin anymore. I mean, they may not even use that internally, but like everyone knew when an Avengers movie was coming and what it was building towards. So hopefully they get that and kind of go back to that. And honestly, I want him to do that, but like if he's doing Avengers 7, he's probably not doing Shang-Chi 2. That'll probably go to somebody else. So he might be like a producer credit on it and kind of like guide that. But like I agree with you that should become. We knew about the title Wreckage of Time. Remember, like that's been essentially confirmed. That was the title forever. But I think that was also built with the idea of Kang in there. So yeah, I agree. I think have we seen anything else he's done as a director? I'm looking him up right now because I don't know what he had done before that. Just Mercy, The Glass Castle, Short Term 12. Nope. Nothing for me on my end. But yeah, so I don't know. I wanted to see him come do stuff, and I want to see him get that Avengers. I just think he did action so well in Shang-Chi, right? I think we've talked about that. Like Shang-Chi is just a great action film as well. So love to see that. In the rumor world, this is a big statement. But one of the more, I guess, popular scoopers, if you will, has stated that for 17 years we've been staring at a plot device. I'm sure they didn't mean to until recently, but man, that's kind of genius. Very vague statement. Includes a clip of all of the Marvel intro videos, the MCU intros, right? The page just spinning, the scenes flipping for Avengers Doomsday. And a lot of people are leaning into this as saying that the intro portion is what's going to be big coming up in Avengers Doomsday, maybe Secret Wars. Like, I don't know how these intros play into this, but we've always paid attention to all the different intros, right, for the movies. So any thoughts there, how they could use the intro as a plot point?
I mean, they've kind of already broken the formula of the opening title card in the last couple movies. I think Brave New World did something unique, if I recall correctly. Someone else did it too, but plot point, I don't know how they do that. Like it's a branding identity. It's like a logo. I can't imagine like Doctor Doom has like a binder with with a printout of each one.
If it's a Loki thing, maybe like each. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but like everything, it's always different. It's never the same one between them, right? Individual characters get like highlights on them, but like, is it like, how do they do this? If it is something, what kind of plot point is that?
I would take it more as like just be on the lookout. They'll probably do something a little bit special this time around with it, rather than just like the normal kind of formulaic drop-in clips.
It says specifically plot device, so I'm gonna say it's probably not just a change in the intro, but if I remember correctly, 17 years is the time Marvel Studios has been around. The only thing I don't know is like I just watched Spider-Man this week, right? We talked about it being a Thanksgiving movie. Why like they did this for Spider-Man and X-Men movies, right? Like pre-MCU. Like MCU wasn't the first one to do the Marvel comic book flip. So I don't know if it's the intro simply because the time frame doesn't line up with that. Because the MCU has been maybe doing something different. Unless this is like maybe in Iron Man 1, like they did something. So since he is,
We'll find out.
yeah, find out. I don't know. I'm just curious because that's something to think about what they've done for that. In probably not news, Daredevil Born Again season 2 release date, which was March 4th, 2026, has been removed from their press site. I don't know if it's delayed or changed, but it is interesting they take the whole release date off from their press stuff. If anything, I would guess maybe a delay, but I don't know what they're delaying for, other than John Bernthal's solo project that we've not heard anything about since it wrapped filming.
Yeah, unless it needs to align better with like the Spider-Man or Punisher thing. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know if there's like. I guess when they said, I think I know Wonder Man is dropping end of January. This dropped in March. We don't have any Marvel movies except for July for Spider-Man and then December for Avengers. This could go literally release any day, Mike, and I don't think it's going to affect too much at the end of the day, right? Like it might just be like there might be another Disney project they're putting up on there and they're changing stuff around, but I don't think this is a huge red flag. It's just maybe they took the date down and it'll say the 4th, or maybe it'll get pushed a week or two. So we don't know. All right, I kind of run through most of the stuff because I want to leave a little bit of time here to talk about Stranger Things season 5 part 1 of a 3-part release released on Netflix on Wednesday night. I did want to say it was one of the biggest releases ever for Netflix. It crashed the service twice in one night, and they had at least, I think they said, a 30% bandwidth increase the first time, and then it still crashed again. That just goes to tell you how much of a cultural phenomenon the show's become over the past 10 years for everything. And I am historically on the record as, I would say, waffling on if I like the show or not. It's a very well done show. I'm just not in love with it. And I will say what I've enjoyed most about season 5, this is not spoilers, is that in the earlier seasons, it felt like they were trying to beat us in the head with that retro 80s vibe. That, like, hey, this is the 80s. Here's the music. Here's all these references. And in season 5, they're like, fuck it. Like, here's the show. Here's everything we've been building towards. We don't care if, we're not trying to say this is the 80s. We're not setting the atmosphere as much, even though it's still set in 87. I really appreciate that they've got to the point where it's just the show and just the plot points, and that's really good for me going into this.
Yeah, it is kind of an interesting, I guess we should say, do we want to mark this as spoilers or not?
Well, it's hard to say because it's the first 4 of 8 episodes. Let me just get through the facts. Let's just get those 4 episodes. Only, I think, an hour and a half is like the longest one, maybe. Like, these aren't the long ones yet. And the next series, the next batch of 3 drops on Christmas Eve. Then the final finale is New Year's Eve. So if you're wondering where the rest of them are, that's where they are, and we'll get there. So after this, pure spoilers for Stranger Things season 5 part 1, but those are the facts, and I'll mark the spoiler time codes below.
Yeah, you're very right though. This does kind of feel like they're to the point where everything can kind of come together. They've been taking these 4 seasons that feel more like 6 seasons to me since they've been released in parts. And they have all the chess pieces where they need to now. So now it's time to kind of bring them together. And I think they'll stick the landing because I kind of get the idea from the Duffer Brothers that they know how they want this to end and have known for a while, which is great. But I feel like these first couple episodes, they feel slightly rough to me because there's a lot of explanation going on. I feel like they're adding a lot of new rules or lore to the Upside Down to kind of get us all in the right spot where we need to be. But overall, I am having fun though. It's nice to see all the characters again. Fun to be back in Hawkins. I like seeing the production value on the screen. I saw some people dogging a couple shots on social media, but the Demogorgons look absolutely gorgeous. I've never seen them more wet. This is the wettest Demogorgon
they also
ever gonna see in your life.
They're also moving faster, and it seems more fluid, than the other ones kind of did. They kept them in the dark. I love when they rip the portals open. It looks like a nice gooey mac and cheese coming through that. The upside downs, those effects, like these are real sets. You can tell they're awesome. I wouldn't say waffle, but like I know I'm one of the few fans of season 2, the episodes with the younger kids, like where Eleven goes and finds the other girl who has powers. Because to me, that's like the X-Men. That's my X-Men episode, right? The kids with powers mess around in the streets. Love it. Love that part. But for these 4, I'm really enjoying it because, number one, I think I agree that there is some explaining the rules, but what I like about the show is it just gets in and goes. Like, it's been a year and a half in Hawkins. They're like, the military came in, they covered the cracks, we're under quarantine, but also we're doing these things where we go into the upside down and search for Vecna, and we've been doing that for a long time. And I'm like, it's not like they had to tell us how they did it; they just did it, right? They were like, we're doing was it called a crawl, I believe? I'm like, they just went into it and just did it. Like, there's not like, hey, do you remember last season when we did this? Like, none of that's in here because they assume everyone's watched it, or at least a recap. And I really appreciate them just getting in and going in these 4 episodes. And it doesn't feel to me that there's any wasted space either. Like, I know these are longer episodes, but like none of it feels like downtime. Like, it feels relevant and poignant, and even like, the highest rated episode of the entire show is episode 4 of season 5, and that was a really good delivery as well. Like, that's a good cliffhanger to leave us on. But I am interested in the lack of the titular villain, or not titular, but like the villain Vecna. He's there, he's brought up a lot, but we only see him in episode 4. So I'm like, I know that's the big bad, and he's like doing something we'll find out about, but like, what is it? Where is he? Where's he at this whole time?
Yeah, it was nice that they didn't leave anything waiting until Christmas, which is going to drive me crazy. Like, we got to see that her quote unquote, superpowered sister was behind that door.
Yeah.
We got to see Will's powers. We got to what else were we waiting on? There was like another thing.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, they took the kids. I thought they weren't going to take the kids. The Demogorgons got the kids. The military. Linda Hamilton, the Terminator, Sarah Connor herself is in this as a throwback. There's the wall is kind of going on.
Knowing what the wall was and seeing Max. It's just nice that all the loose ends and stuff, they're just like, no, let's just bring it all out. It was a good, I guess, like stopping point of just like, okay, these 4 episodes right here. It makes me wonder if maybe the Duffer Brothers kind of knew how Netflix was going to chop it up, so they kind of played to that a little bit. Because now I feel like I'm energized and ready to go into the next set of episodes. Not just like, come on, what was behind the door? This is really annoying.
Yeah, my even with everything we know, my social feed, even though I don't interact with Stranger Things, it's all Stranger Things theories going forward. And I'm like, these are the people. These are the people I want to see. But like, to that point, like, all the Easter eggs there are not like, again, like you said, they're not cliffhangers. They didn't not open the door. They didn't leave Will on the floor about to die. It looked like he was going to die, and all the kids are going to be attacked by like the main character's attacked by Demogorgons. We didn't uncover who was in the forest, that it was Max, right? We didn't just leave the boots there and let people guess whose shoes are these, what size feet are these. So yeah, I agree with you entirely. But the theories are fun. This feels, I don't know, intentional. And like, that's something you don't get a lot in season finales, I guess, anymore. Like series finale, like, you don't get the intentionality of like, oh, we're not rushing to do everything in the last episode. We're giving you what we want to give you, and hopefully it's satisfying for the viewer. And to me, again, someone who is not historically like, glommed onto this, I'm having a good time. I did not know there was an actual play about this show as well. That's like, is a Broadway level play, which is canonical to the story as well. So, very, very interested in that. See if I can find some way to read about it, or maybe if there's a cam version somewhere. Again, like I said, the effects are good. I was joking that the kids would look like they're 30 playing teenagers in this, but they said that they aged them fairly well. I don't feel like they're too old or young.
Yeah, and they made it fit the narrative. I mean, I think the Rockin' Robin says a certain number of days in her opening broadcast.
It's a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, so like time has passed, so it all makes sense. So I don't kind of feel like they've tried to like make it unbelievable in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. I also enjoy, it's one of those tropes where the dad's like, you can't do this, don't come in here. You know, you're not strong, you're not ready yet after the time trial things. And like they did that like back and forth, but then like by the second episode, he's like, all right, you can run in there and attack the building, like, you know, land with the lightning. Do you think the lightning strike every 7 seconds is relevant to something? Like that was a fun fact they called out.
I don't know. I was convenient.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I wonder if it's, you know, what it is. What are we missing? What else are we missing from this show, Mike? Before they wrap it up here in a few episodes.
I mean, I think they're telegraphing like a death. I don't know whose death it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Hopper or Joyce or. I feel like some character has to die. Maybe it's Will. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always killing somebody off every season, so I guess it's just wait and see who's going to die.
Yeah. I also will say, I told my wife this when we were watching an episode where I'm like, I think a lot of the trailer was cut from the first 4 episodes. Because there's a couple things we haven't seen. There's a scene of like, what's his name? The curly haired kid and, with the who got his ass beat. We haven't seen a resolution for that either. What's his name? Dustin, and Steve. And there's like a part where like holding each other in like one of the trailers. We didn't see that yet, but like everything else was in this thing. I thought they were gonna release a trailer for 2, like the next part immediately, and I'm really glad in the restraint they have not releasing a second trailer yet for part 2, to show anything. Do you think we'll get that this week? Or do you think it'll be next week? Because right now, it feels like everybody's watched this show. But at the same time, I don't want to make that assumption.
They'll probably give it a week, but who knows? I wouldn't be shocked if I wake up tomorrow and see it.
Yeah, I think that'll be good with that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm having a good time. I think I might be having a little better time than you are. So I'm enjoying myself, which is rare for me in these Stranger Things and Stranger Times. But anything else before we wrap it up here? It's a little bit of a brief episode today, but we'll come back next week strong. What do you think, Mike? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm excited. All I'm saying is I'm just glad I'm excited for more episodes. I was nervous because it was so long in between. I wasn't sure if I would still like the show, but I think I still like it. Just getting warmed up, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the next 3 bring and where they end us for that finale. It'll probably be a cliffhanger since it's only a week apart, but that's fine. All right, Mike, if people know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you could find me at Life Rewards Risk and pickledcomics.com. Chris, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video games of the same name. If people want to know about the show, where they can get all these show notes, links, anything else we do every week, where can they get all them goodies?
Yeah, well, I'll keep it simple. Just say visit superheroslate.com, and all you got to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we'll be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.